Okay, so here's my story. I've got a Pentair Master Temp 400 and I'm hearing rattling. What you can do is you can turn it on, it'll heat up for about 20 seconds and then turn off, and I'll get a service heater light right here. And if you take these panels off and you turn this over, on the back side of this I'll get an HLS light that turns on right here. So if you look that up, that's a high limit switch, and that is located right here. I've got these lines disconnected. This will be your thermistor, which is a temp for the water coming in, thermometer basically for your water going in, and then here is your HLS, high limit switch. So I guess this, I'm not quite sure, don't quote me on this, but I guess that's measuring the temp of the water coming out. Now what happened in mine is I've got a lot of rattling around in here, and I think a piece broke, so it may not be this switch. Actually, it might be like the manual bypass valve that's in there may have broke before the water goes through the boiler here. It'll come around and come through here, and if there's no temp difference between here and here and it's sitting there cooking, you're going to boil all the water here and it's going to automatically shut off. So I'm not sure if it's the HLS that's bad or if I got a bad part. So I'm going to take this apart. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 10 bolts holding that manifold on right there, and I'm going to take that off, these 2 pipes, and I'm going to see what's broken inside of it. That's it. Okay, I've got all 10 of those bolts out. Power's cut to the unit, and I've removed all the wires. All of these are not polarity sensitive right here. The browns need to go to here, the oranges need to go to here. So how you take them off, it doesn't matter if you put them back in reverse order on any of these, pink and purple here. But I got all those bolts out now, so this should just move these pipes out of the way here. It comes right out. Ooh. Okay, so all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all 12 of those should be nice cylindrical copper fittings that come out there. So I got a lot of corroded pieces coming off of there, and each one of them has an O-ring, which also comes in the kit for the HLS repair. But this is the back side of your manifold. I can see the thermistor right there at the top. That looks good inside there, and it's reading okay. But I'm going to take it apart now and see what I see on the inside. Okay, so I'm looking at cracking the casing open here to get all the way around here, and all I can use is a screwdriver here, preferably a rather large flathead. Just get it in there. Just work it just a little bit at a time. Flip it over and be sure that you got sensors on just about every side here. 2 on this side, 1 on that side, 1 on the top. So try not to bend up any of the sensors. Kind of work it as best you can, a little bit at a time, working all the way around. Okay, it's coming. Man, this thing is all sorts of fun doing one-handed. Okay, what have we got here? Okay, so this is supposed to lay flat down in there, actually on the bottom side of the thermistor nipple that's in there on the right there. It goes all the way down. So let's go ahead and remove that. And yes, I do have a broken, actually missing, manual bypass valve is right here, from here to this piece here. Actually, I can shoot. Let me look at the video. From here to here is your manual bypass valve. You should be able to wiggle that on out of there. Well, there's that piece. it doesn't have the valve part in here, so that's bad. That's usually what they do. They'll break off and it shoots the valve part in here, and then it takes a ride in the pipe throughout your plumbing. So in my case, this is my incoming pipe right here, comes into the top, and since my manual bypass valve is broken, the valve is missing, the water flows through there, goes right down to the bottom pipe and enters here. So my valve took a ride in the bottom pipe, so I need to follow that bottom pipe around to here. Here's my one of these automatic rotating valves, and then it takes this way before it goes through an ozonator and such. So I'm gonna have to take some pipes apart to find the missing piece. Probably will start here, up in here. So anyway, I got a part to find. Okay, I got very lucky. Like I said a little earlier, this is the incoming and this is the outgoing for your heater manifold. So I followed the pipes looking for that valve. I did not start here first. This was in this position, which means this is cut off and the water was flowing this way. So I removed the cover right here, and I was lucky enough to find my valve caught in this 90 right here. So I removed this valve, stuck my fingers up in there, and I got it. The valve looks like this, that's broke. It broke right here on the end. Now, it has a part number written on it. I don't know if I can focus that or not. It's very small. I'll read it. It's 42001-0014. And I can't seem to make it focus. So, there it was. There it is. Okay, so anyhow, I got on eBay and I ordered another one because they are kind of pricey if you get them retail. And I got it in, and it actually is supposed to look like this. Here's the difference. This one has a little one-way in clip as opposed to the broken one. Those broke off. So I'm going to try to put this thing back together how it was. I did get the piece I was struggling with earlier. It's not a one-handed job. When you remove this, it comes out. It sits in those little slots seated nicely in the manifold like that. Well, it does come out, and when I got it out, I'm going to try to reassemble this if I can. It's going to look like the valve goes in it, and then the spring goes over it, and then there's a circular piece at the end of it. I think I'm getting bit by ants in here. But anyway, it goes on like that, and the valve goes right through the middle of the circle and clicks on the back side right there. So whenever it's in there, this compresses and releases like that. But because the pieces broke off the tip of that valve, this just shot apart, and that valve came right out and took a ride through that pipe right there, and I ended up finding it right there, stuck like that. So I got lucky. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can reassemble this exactly how I just showed you, but using the new piece. I got a kit here, and the darn thing didn't have a spring. It didn't have this, what do you call it, a little firewall wall thing, and it didn't have this circle in it. It had all the other pieces, so I got gypped here, but anyway, that's what you get for trying to save a buck, I guess. But I think I might be able to salvage all the parts. If all these parts go back together and it clicks, I can just salvage the old spring, little wall piece here, and this circle. So let's see if it'll click. I just might get lucky. Hang on. Click. Boom. There you go. That's what you should have gotten new. And it should function like this. Spring, spring. And now I can put that dude right back in here, and ta-da. It doesn't even hit the back wall like it was trying. The spring was completely uncompressed hitting the wall earlier. It doesn't actually hit the wall there. So now that I got that in there, this kind of seals right here against this wall, and water won't flow from my intake right here through that bypass valve into here unless there's a backlog of pressure back here that will force water through there and come out into this side and go out to the pool. So this should be my fix. I think I actually did also buy the HLS, the high limit switch, but I think I may have wasted my money on that, because if this was looking for a temp difference from here to there, I think I just fixed it with this. But anyway, I'm going to put it back together first without replacing that, and if I still have the HLS light, hell, that needed to be replaced anyway, and I'll replace that whenever the switch comes in. It's just not in yet. So I'm going to see if I got a functioning heater now. Bye. Okay, I'm in the process of screwing back down the manifold on here. I didn't even bother with messing with the O-rings. It wasn't leaking anyway. I may put these O-rings in. Man, they're actually good condition too. I may not even bother with those. Those weren't leaking either. But this is a metric 13 millimeter, and I would recommend treating these when you're putting them back on. Treat them like you're putting on a car tire. Do one here, and then do the opposite on the bottom over here, and then come up here, skipping a couple, cinch it down to where it starts giving you some resistance, and then the bottom in the same position. And then it's starting to give me some resistance, and then jump up here. Ratcheting would probably be easier. And then the bottom down here. That way it gives it a nice, even, gradual, even distribution on the O-rings, pressure on the O-rings. Anyway, bounce around on this stuff a little bit, and I'll pick up the back side whenever I get done with this portion of it. I'll come back and see what we got. Okay, I got the manifold back on, all tightened down. I got the brown wires on, the orange wires on. The brown goes to the thermistor, and the orange goes to the high limit switch. Got the purple on, got the pink on. Again, the polarity for all these lines don't matter. It does not matter. Pipes are back on. I didn't mess with anything else. This is a little drain here. It has an O-ring in it. It's also bad. That's part of the kit. Here's the O-rings that were part of the kit. There's the part number for the valve stem bypass that broke. And with that back in, I have not replaced the thermistor yet. I mean the high limit switch yet. So I'm going to turn it on and see if what I did was good enough. Let's see. Pump on. Spa mode on. Okay, it's trying to turn the heater on. These should be rotating, and they are. Alright, here comes the heater. I don't hear any clacking around anymore. No noise in the pipes. Just water flow, that's good. Burner still has not kicked on. Alright, here goes the burner. So about 20 seconds in is whenever it kicks off and gives me that light. I'm going to see if it does it now. I still got my normal heating and spa light on. While this is heating up, I did notice where I found that valve earlier that this was extremely gummed up, and it's supposed to operate like this. All it is a check valve, so that when you turn your pump off and water's flowing through this way and turn your pump off, this comes up and prevents all the water from flowing back in there and ruining your prime. So I bought another one of these. I'm gonna put that on there and take care of that. and that's way longer than 20 seconds. So this was the fix. It looks like I did waste my money buying another high limit switch. I didn't have to. It's a shame I did, but anyway, that wasn't the problem, even though that was what the error was on the back side of my circuit board here. So I want to post this on YouTube just so that you know that that may not be what the problem is. It may not be the high limit switch itself. It might be something else, but it's heating up just fine. I'm already gaining temp. I'm happy with that. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think.